Hello, my friends. Hello, my life warriors. Wherever you are in the world, I do hope you're having a good day. Yes, this is the Day In, Day Out podcast. This is episode 37, where I had the immense pleasure of speaking to Faustina. She is basically the founder of Divas of Colour. She is the chief editor of C.Hud Magazine as well. We spoke about many things and basically her journey from Nigeria over to the UK and what she had to basically do to forge and found many of the sort of projects and companies she's founded along the way. She's a very inspirational lady who has, how can I say, she has pushed herself and kept on going. One of her key role models is Oprah Winfrey, and give her a little bit of time, I'm sure she will be able to catch Oprah one day in the future. So please sit back, enjoy the podcast, let me know how it is, and have a fantastic day. Anyway, have a good one. Peace. Haha. Okay, hello, my friends. Hello, my life warriors, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Day In, Day Out podcast. This is episode number 37. And yes, today I am quite privileged to have Faustina Anyanwu. My apologies if I got your last name wrong. Yes, on the podcast today. Woo, this lovely lady, she is a founder, co-founder, chief editor of the C.Hud Magazine. She founded Divas of Colour as well. And yeah, like she did this all from basically starting as a humble nurse, a humble midwife. We salute you as you're one of those heroes from the past. And yes, a guiding light for today. Yeah, please tell the lovely people who you are and how are you today?
Thank you, Muiwa. It's a pleasure to be here on the show, day in, day out.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm fine. I've been, in fact, the lockdown has really given me time to, have a lot of quiet times. Waking up when you want to wake up and going to bed when you want to go to bed, and time to really stay and reflect. Now, talking about me, yeah, like you said, my name is Faustina Anyanwu. Anyanwu is my marriage name. My middle name is Uche.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so I studied nursing and midwifery and practiced for about 5 to 6 years in Nigeria before I got married and came here. In fact, I came here as an adult. So if you see on my LinkedIn profile, you will see where I said a first generation immigrant. So which I'm very proud of. So and coming into UK, in fact, way before I came into UK, I never wanted to be a nurse.
Oh.
I never. It wasn't a passion for me. It wasn't. It wasn't my first. It wasn't my choice at all.
Right.
Yeah, but you know that back home, oftentimes parents, they have their own dreams and what they want for you. And when your hands are tied and there's nothing you can do, you know that if you don't follow what they say, therefore you have to, find a way to educate yourself. So that was what happened to me. My parents, we are separated, in the I don't know if you have been to Nigeria in the village African setting and stuff like that. So
last time I was in Nigeria, I was a very young boy, just running around. Yes, just having, how can I say, having an interesting time, getting into one or two adventures here and there. But yeah, I haven't been back. I'm going giving away my age slightly. Oh, most of 1985 or something like that. That was the last time I was in Nigeria. Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time.
Hey, don't judge me.
But you have to go to Nigeria. Nigeria is so vast, so big, and so many, we always are drawn to the negative. But Nigeria is really, apart from the security things that are happening now, Nigeria is a place I will always ask anybody to try to visit and see, different vibes, different way people, interact and all those kind of things. So, like I was saying, in my case, so my parents were separated, and my mom was, a teacher. She's retired now. So at some point, sometimes they're not paid for 6 months, 3 months, 8 months, that kind of thing. So it was a bit of struggle at the time. So then my elder brother just finished secondary school, was, to go to uni.
Yeah.
He read accounting. Then myself, my mom, I had that dream of I want to be a psychologist or a media, be in the mass communication and that kind of dreams that, we have. So I was looking at myself being like Oprah and, all those role models you see on CNN at that time and stuff like that. So then I just finished you guys call it GCSE here, we call it SSCE. So I just finished my SSE. My results were fantastic and everything. So we are now choosing to go to school. In Nigeria, we take JAMB to go to uni. So I was to apply for JAMB. And nobody was giving me money to apply for the JAMB. And then one morning, my mom came and told me, "You're going to do nursing." I'm like, I've never in my life thought about nursing as a career path for myself. What is that all about? And that was it. That was it. I refused to go and get the form and register for that and all that. But then after a time, I had to advise myself, except you don't want to go to school. So I went and picked the form, and that was it. That was how I entered nursing.
So like this is the thing. Okay, like I understand like how you've got onto the whole path of nursing, but like, and it wasn't really your thing. But to stick at it for 5 years, that is like a healthy chunk of life to give to something which you kind of knew wasn't your future. Why did you wait so long to change?
Like I said, Nigeria, depending on your background, your family background, it's not like here where you can easily move away and do what you want to do. Now, when I finished nursing, I had to go back to do midwifery. Then when I finished midwifery, I wanted to, remember I told my mom is a teacher, and in Nigeria, most oftentimes teachers are not paid, and I'm the first daughter. So 3 of my siblings were about to go into higher education as well. So it was on myself and my elder brother to make sure that those ones also get education. So that's how it is, So I had to quickly move to Lagos. While I was in school, there was this hospital, Havana Hospital. It was the hospital, like one of the best specialist hospitals that everybody, if you're working there, then, So, so I told myself, I want to work in Havana. So it happened that I left the village because I went to school in the village. So I left the village, just the same day I finished the midwifery, I came home. I told my mom I'm going to Lagos. My mom said, "Where is the money for tickets and all that?" So very interesting. So I told my mom, "No, I'm not going to stay in this village. This is not for me." So I packed my things and I went to Owerri, the nearest city to us. And okay, let's say the transport fare was something about around, let's say about £500, but I had only £50. So, so when I got to the park where the load, the whole system is different. So when I got there, there's something they call attachment or attaché. So when anybody who is a Nigerian, that lives in Nigeria will understand this. So when I got there, I told the conductor that what I had was £50. I'm going to be using £50 so that you can understand the story. So I told them, and he said, "What for?" I said, "I'm going to Lagos, but that's all I have." He said, "Okay, I should wait." Then when they finish loading the bus, if there's attachments left, then they will consider me. So that was how, when they finish loading. So an attachment is, in the coach bus,
Yeah.
when people are finished sitting down, the passage in the bus.
Yeah.
So they usually will put a plank across it like this, so you can sit in the middle. So when people are coming, you can raise your plank and they cross over and you sit again. So that was how I got in.
Yeah, no. This is the thing. I'm very aware of the transport from city to city in Nigeria, because it's either the bus. You either do the bus, or was it when I was over there? I think it was like the 405 estate, Peugeot 405 estate car, which would also go between cities and cities. So you could get on the.
Not that one. Those ones are the small bus. There are bigger buses that are companies. Like
Yeah.
there were ABC. There were like big coach. How we have
Okay.
four coaches. So that's the one at that time that we are in vogue. I don't know which one people are using now. So, but that was the kind I took. So that was how I got into Lagos. And at the time, my elder brother was working in a bank, as a junior banker, and he was going to, working in the bank and also going to school part time, studying accounting. So he was already living in Lagos. So I just came to meet him.
Hello. That's like, I'm here. It's like, that's like, hi.
So that's how my journey has been. I've been somebody who I've never focused on any situation around me. My dreams has always been away from my environment. My dreams, my vision has never had anything to do with where I find myself. I have this picture of who I want to be in my mind, regardless of what is happening. So when I came into Lagos, I told my brother I want to work in Havana. So my brother said, "Oh, Havana is big, but I don't know." Then, with that weekend I came into Lagos, we are driving out, with one of my brother's friends. He came around and we were driving. I think it was an Easter Sunday or so. We were driving out of the house, and I saw this hospital near my house, and I said, "That hospital looks nice. I'd like to work there." So my brother said, "No, it's no longer Havana." I said, "But at least I can start somewhere." We went there, and it was an Easter Sunday, so they asked me to come on Wednesday. So I came, and the medical director interviewed me, and after interviewing me, he asked me, "Can you start today?" I said, "No." Yeah, and as at that time, my midwifery result wasn't yet out. Like I told you, we just finished exam in March, and this was April. So I told him no, that I don't have my uniform and all that. He said, "Okay, you give me like 1 week to get my uniform ready," And the uniform I went to make, I designed my own uniform. It had, like combat.
Yeah.
Combat was white, khaki white or something, this kind of chinos material. Then I had pockets here, and then trouser pockets, and when I started, he said, "No," I said, I like to work with, how I want. So I worked with them for about 2-3 months. When I was working there, one day my brother told me that he knows somebody in Havana. He knows the Havana accountant, because when he was working in Citizen Bank, he used to handle the bills. Like the Havana hospital, how they operate is some of the big companies, the banks and companies, they sign up with them, and their staff go to Havana for treatment, and bills will go straight to the bank, not to the staff. You get?
Yeah.
Now, so my brother was part of the department that handles the external bills. So he was, working directly with the Havana accountants. So he knows the bank. So that was how he now said, "Okay, go and meet this guy." So I went to meet him, and then he was able to inform me when there was vacancy, there was opportunity for interviews and all that. And I went for the interviews, and that was how I was taken, and I started working in Havana. And I must say that Havana is such a place that when you're inside Havana, you don't even know you're in a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
That is how wonderful the hospital was at that time. And the staff, the environment was like home, was like, in fact, sometimes if you're not on duty, you want to go to work, you want to go there and, crack jokes, banter, and doctors, nurses, receptionists, everybody were like a family, was like a family. So I enjoyed my stay there. Yep.
Nice.
So, but even though I was enjoying the environment, I still knew that this is not the career path I want.
Mm.
So at every point in time, I was trying my best to see how I can wriggle out of it. I needed to save money to go back to school and study whatever I want, or just, and I don't know. So I continued, and then at one point, let me tell you one funny thing about all of this.
No, please. please do.
At my desperation, I went and got applied for going to Nigerian Navy, naval force.
Okay, the Navy, like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I took the exam.
yeah.
I passed. They called me. They took me, and at this time I didn't tell anyone what I was doing. So when the result, when I got their letter for me to get ready, they were going to send me to the northern part of Nigeria for 6 months training. That was when my eyes cleared. I said, what am I getting myself into?
Well, well, put it this way: going from midwife, then like considering the Navy, like that's quite extreme. I'm not too sure what you would have done in the Navy, like when you were applying, what position did you have in mind? It's like,
what they do is when you go into Navy, they take people from a different background because they have different departments, isn't it? They're going to have like hospitals, medical departments and stuff like that. So, but you have to go through the initial training of being in the force in the first place. So, and I looked at myself. One, I'm not somebody that's the northern part of Nigeria, and I'm not somebody for that kind of drill for 6 months. I wasn't all for. Then as I began to think, where is this leading me to? What will I be achieving with this? So I just their acceptance letter, I just folded it back and put it under my bed, and that was it.
Thank you very much, but no, thank you.
I've been an extreme person. I'm very extreme in when I decide to do something. So I left it. Then I wanted to go and take JAMB again.
Mm.
And then if I have to take JAMB and go back to uni full time, that means I have to resign from my work. And then who is going to fund my school? 3 of my siblings are already in uni at that time, and myself and my brother were funding their going to school. So it was going to be a big problem for the whole family, for myself, and I don't have the backup for me to go back to school. So financially, it wasn't possible.
Yeah, may I just ask, because there's going to be some people, like you said JAM a couple of times, what is JAM? Because the way I understand it, it's kind of, I think it's like the equivalent to A levels in the UK to go, like, to then go into university. What is that, what it is, or am I wrong about that?
Yeah, I think is in line with A levels, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. Is joint admission something. Okay, joint admission matriculation board. So that's an exam that you must pass before you go to uni. After secondary school, and if you have the good results, you have the required amount of A's or C's that you need, and of course our grading and here are a little bit different as well. So if you have passed your SSCE, which you guys call GCSE here, then you can now take JAMB, depending on what you want to study in the school, in the uni. So your jam has a cutoff point. So if you don't get up to a particular a set cutoff point for there's a general cutoff point for the whole jam, then each school will also have their own cutoff point, and each course that you want to read will also have their own cutoff point. So that's how it works. So I wanted to take JAMB again, but then I said, if I take JAMB and pass, what am I going to do? Because I don't have backup financially to go back to school at this time. I said, okay, let me continue working. At least my younger sisters, when they finish uni, then now, I can now transfer the responsibility to them, and they can also, that kind of thing. So, but then time was going and going and going, and I was young when, when I came into working. I was about 21.
Yeah.
So when I started working, so I was like, oh my God, I didn't know how to go about all of that. Then, and I gave myself maximum of 3 years to work in Havana and save up money. But when you start working, then you're able to know the reality of saving money.
Yes. My problem is, as soon as I get it, it seems to just disappear. It comes in one hand and then it leaves with the other.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Those kind of fantasy when you're in school, you think that when you have like £1,000 is a big money.
Yeah.
But then when you have £1,000, you find out that you can't even pay your rent. So the whole thing, you start seeing reality as they are. Then something happened again. I bought a form, to go back to school, but now I didn't want to go to uni. I wanted to go to well, it's a uni, but not like another degree or something. It's like I wanted to go and do specialty in nursing. Mind you, I didn't want nursing, but I wanted to do at least get a bit of where I'll be a bit comfortable, and at least be an authority in the profession. So I applied to go for theater nursing. Then usually in the hospital, in Havana Hospital, what they do is if you are going back to that kind of professional top up, you have to work permanent night and then work you have to work permanent night then so you can go to school during the day.
Okay.
Now I took the exam and I passed, and they gave in fact most of the times every exam I take I usually will pass at that time, so I wasn't afraid of taking any exam because I knew that if I prepare for it I'm going to pass. So they took me, and it was now time to I informed the hospital and all that. So, and my medical director that time, he said no, that he's no longer allowing anybody to go to school. I think we had a shortage in staff strength that time. He said no, if I want to go to school, I will have to resign, and then when I finish school, I come back. So, and it was crazy for me. I didn't know what to do. I was so angry. I was so mad. I spoke to my matron. I spoke to my director of nursing and everything. I was asking them, what can I do? Because if I don't work, how am I going to pay, for my school, my accommodation and everything? Lagos is a kind of city. So I didn't know what to do. I said, okay. I told my matron that I would like to go home during the Christmas, because within that Christmas time, we don't usually have, we are not allowed to have a leave. We have our leave from the hospital. So I spoke to my matron, who she likes me a lot. So she said, okay. I told her that I want to go home and discuss this with my mom, because at this point, I don't want to miss any other opportunity I have. And if I'm studying theater nursing, even if I resign from Havana, it's still easy for me to get another hospital I can be working with and continue my school. In fact, they will benefit from my going to school. So she said, okay, no problem. She approved my leave and I went home. So when I got home, I met my husband.
Yeah, he was just waiting, just like, hello, to you. He's just like, hi. Like, I don't, like, what are you doing for the next rest of your life? And it's like, yeah, I'm here waiting for you. It's like, yeah, waiting for you. Like, so, like, wait, so how did you, like, you just went back home random, like, after all of, like, after the sort of trial and tribulation of, like, going back, studying, like, look, me personally, like, there's certain elements of your character which I'm like going, okay, I can see why you've, like, I can see how comes the path has formed for you. But yeah, but it seems like life has basically been on your, like, on your side, because yeah, if you didn't, if you weren't going back to do this professional qualification, I'd like to get counsel for your mother, you never would have met him. Would that, right? Would that be right?
Yes, that would be right, because there was no way we are going to cross paths. You know,
Yeah.
he doesn't come to Lagos. You know, and mind you, he lives in the UK. He only came home for, you know, for I think for Christmas or something. So we just met. We were introduced anyway. A friend introduced us, and we got talking, and from there, you know, my story changed. You know, so so I was getting, you know, I was now, you know, into getting married. You know, so we were now, you know, moving, and then that was how my what would I call it, my path again changed from there. And the interesting thing is, the first day I met him, the very first time I met him, we got talking and all that. I
Mm.
told him, as I'm telling you, that I don't like nothing. So if anybody is coming to me, or looking for, maybe what is attracting you is that, you know, I'm a nurse or something,
Yeah.
just want it here, because I'm not going to be a nurse. I'm not going to practice nursing. From the first time I met him, and he was like, what an interesting lady. So from there we got talking and everything. So that was how nursing was finally put away.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Like, because, wow. Like, because let's just say this conversation most probably would be quite considerably different, where you would have most probably ended up in the Nigerian Navy for a time before, like, maybe like venturing over to the UK. So you met your husband, you met him, things went well, you got married, and, like, yeah, when you came to the UK, it's, you just completely did a, a complete change, because, like, yeah, how did you go from being a nurse, midwife, like, basically doing the whole qualification, going like, looking to basically join the Navy, to then to then, like, yeah, founding the Divas of Colour International Women's Forum? That is, it's like, look, how does that happen?
You know, like I said, you know, okay, I haven't said that, but like I said, my passion was never in nursing, and
Yeah.
I've been a creative person ever since. In fact, from when I was 13 years, I wrote a poem that was, you know, published in our local newspaper.
Mm.
You know, then I think when I was in School of Nursing as well, I wrote another poem, an article that were published in a magazine in Owerri, where is a smaller city to Lagos. So when, you know, where I was going to school that time. So I've always loved writing. I've always loved anything creativity. You know, so even when I was in school, both my primary, secondary, School of Nursing, I was athletic. I was representing my school in most sports and all that. So I've been a creative person, that kind of thing. So and I've always looked at Oprah Winfrey, and like the kind of things that I used to call her my mentor from
Okay.
afar. Yeah, because I will always look at her. I want to do what she's doing. That kind of, you know, I want to tell people story and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then when I came to England, the opportunity showed itself. There was a platform. Not that there was a platform. There was a gap that needed to be filled. You know, so when I came to England, I found out that each time I pick up, you know, having lived my life in Nigeria, I don't feel anything. I don't know there was, you know, of course you did read about racism and all, but you didn't know how deep it was. So until I came here, and I wasn't feeling right the way the image of Africa is being portrayed,
Mm-hmm.
and the way Black people in general. So that began to get to me. So, and at this time, I was thinking of what I'm going to do, how I'm going to convert myself and get into, into the media. Then the reality was that, one, I don't have the qualification to, to go into to become any media to employ me,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have any experience, of course. So, and I didn't know what to do. So what I did was, I applied to Greenwich, um, the Greenwich Community College or something. I
Okay.
applied for their short courses on journalism and all those kind of things. So I was doing the courses and all that. So when I finished the courses, I knew that I was ready to go into this. And then um, business, even as a nurse, I used to do some side business. Like that time, I had I had some partners in some pharmacy partners who used to supply me with some medications that I used to do with some doctors in the
Mm-hmm.
hospital. I supplied them and all that, who do their own private practice and stuff. Then I also had, I used to have some fashion, some guys used to bring, supply me with fashion stuff that I would sell by the side. So I've been somebody that is always busy because my mind is always developing and trying to do something. And I don't ever want to be at a place doing nothing. So my first, how many years? Almost 6 years. Immediately I came in here, I got pregnant. I took in for my first daughter,
Uh,
and that was 2000. I had my first daughter 2008, 2007. Then 2008, I had my second daughter.
wow. It's like wow. Oh, no, no, please, like continue. It's like I have a sense 2009 might be like, yeah, number 3 might have come along, but wow. Yeah.
2010.
Okay, wow, I was wrong by 1
Yeah.
year.
So 2010, I had my third daughter, and when I was having my children, I had to change. My whole focus was now on them,
Mm.
school runs and all that. And while I was doing that as a stay-at-home mom, I was always on the internet. So I will research. I was researching different things I want to do. I will research fashion. I will research almost everything. I was researching, at that time, because one, I didn't grow up here, so I don't know a lot of things. I need to think about the laws of the land, how business goes. So I did a lot of research, and I'm somebody that anything I want to learn, I learn it.
Yeah.
I taught myself how to design websites, how to do logos, how to do almost everything.
Oh, wow. Like,
you know,
so, yeah, like, where did you learn this from? Was it just from the internet, or did you?
yes, from internet, from surfing on the internet, trying out different things, downloading. If it's not working, I delete, I go back, I buy this, I do this, So because I had all the time in my hand, and I'm not somebody that stays at one place doing nothing.
Mm.
So sometimes when my children go to sleep at night, I'll be up from, as long as the computer is still going on. I don't, sometimes my husband will be screaming at me, why can't you just sleep? So until I figured out that, I could blog, I started blogging. Then my first blog was called My Black Woman,
Mm.
you know, My Black Woman. So when I launched the blog, oh my goodness, that time social media is not this booming now
Yeah.
at that time. So I was getting contact from everywhere. I found out that Black women were yearning for a platform to be showcased and tell their story. So you begin to find out that what you're seeing on the mainstream media is not a representation of what is happening. There were lots and lots of professionals and high achieving women whose stories were not being told. And I began to get their, details and writing about them. And I began to get invitations to attend events and stuff like that. And I'll go there, I will meet people, I will interview people. Then I started my Black Woman PR. I combined it together. So when I was doing that, I would help, the women who were starting their small businesses, I will help them to package their press releases, press key, you know, show them what should be here, what should be there, you know, that kind of thing, and how to brand their product. So we are doing that. Then I I launched a showcasing event where they will come and exhibit their products. So in fact, the first event we did was at UCL. So how I got to know UCL is when I went for one of the events, and then I met a professor that works there. I began to speak with him, and in fact, I wrote my first children's book, and I sent him a copy because he had a young son that time. So and he called me and told me, "Oh, the son loved the book," and then from there we became kind of friends. So I just told him my idea that I wanted to have a venue where I will call all these women that have all these skin products and skincare products, hair care, all those things. They don't have anywhere to showcase them. He said, okay, he will arrange a venue for me. So he got the venue. So he said to me, as long as you're not selling tickets, then I'm fine with that. I said, okay, no problem. So we got these women, they paid to have their spaces and all that. So that was how I experienced the first time to do that. Then as time went on, I began to hear, why my black woman is too racist. It's too, the whole thing was getting too much, So then when I was in Nigeria, I don't know if you know about VH1 Save the Music. They used to be in America.
Okay. Yeah. I think, no.
Yeah, they used to have a kind of show where they call these musicians. So there was a particular year they did VH1 Save the Music Divas Live.
Right. Yes.
Aretha Franklin, you have Mariah Carey, you have all these Suzanne Sarandon and all those kind of women. They all came together to use music, and so that was when diva, the word diva, first. I began to have first time positive connotation to it. So when I was now battling with my black woman and stuff, some people were complaining. Then I looked at it as well. I said, with that name, it wouldn't be open for expansion, to scale it in future. So I said, okay. And I decided to change to Divas of Colour. Yeah. Then Divas, then I now brought in what it meant to me, which is diverse, inspirational, versatile, able, sisters of color. So that was when we brought that one and I made the logo and everything, people were so like, wow, it was so, the people were drawn to it, so I began to develop it, each time, I try to, incorporate different things based on what people are asking for. That's how we began to grow with that one. Then on the magazine, I wanted to capture the African Black story in a more, with more value than not just, I don't know how to put, because now if you see in the media, there's a lot of clickbaits and all that. So I was looking at something like GQ, something like Entrepreneur Magazine, something like, that those kind of.
Yeah. So you're basically trying to change the narrative you typically hear from the media over here, where it just runs like, this is insert negative headline of this is what's gone on in Africa, and this is negative headline of what this person's done in Africa. And so you wanted to change the narrative, change the story, to basically go, this is what's happening. And this new project's taking off. This person's doing great things. This person's making a real difference to the continent and beyond. And that's the way I see it. And that's I might be wrong about what your goals might be, but please, if I am, please enlighten me. I'd like to know.
Yes, you got it right. But then I didn't want it to be gossipy and like most magazines, you see that it's only like gossip and that kind of lifestyle and stuff like that. I wanted it to be something more tangible. That when like if you want to start business, you can get resources there. If you are already running your business, you'll be able to find content in the magazine that will, encourage you or keep you going or give you information that you need. Or if you're a creative person, as well as having telling people stories. So our aim wasn't to have, like these days now, you see everybody wants want people are only interested in traffic, but we are interested in, even if it's one person reads it, it has impact, it has value. So that was how C.Hud Magazine was, branded and focused. So, and we've been doing it. We are printing and all that until now, when printing, is no longer that much relevant, and people are not really, into print and all that. So we now went all on the website and all that. So the content we bring in is something that is timeless and all that. So it's there on its own working. Then, and you know that when you're running a business, regardless of the passion, you want your cash flow. Without the cash flow, the passion, you can't even bring it. So you have to always be thinking how to scale everything and be able to have the cash flow that we need to keep the business going, and also be able to pay myself. So that's how at every point in time we are thinking of what else can we bring in, what can we sell, even though it's a passion business, what services are we going to give to be able to make income from what we're doing. So that's how we opened also the publishing house, to publish books for independent authors and provide publishing solutions, ISBN, designing, editing, proofreading, all those kind of, and actually publishing for people who maybe, like traditional publishing, they're gonna they reject almost everybody. So so if you believe in your work and you think it's something that will sell, then you can as well invest in it and get it done by yourself. So those are the kind of people we target and help them to get their book out there.
Yeah, no, like this is the thing. Like I've got to say, like with regards to your attitude, to basically going out there and doing it for yourself. I've got to say, it's very like wow. Because look, here's the thing. When you were over in Nigeria, it would be quite very easy to go, okay, look at your bank account and go, right, to like travel for where I am right now to Lagos. I don't have the money. That is it. Game over. Let me just stop right there. You went, okay, yeah. You talk to the driver and like, yeah, you broker a deal to get you to Lagos. You show up, hello to your brother. And then it was a case of you went to Lagos without having a job set up. And it was just a case of many a person would come to the big city and then like go, okay, let me find something which might tide me over in the meantime. But you went, okay, oh, that looks like a nice hospital. You took your chance. You had an interview. You get offered the job on that very day, but you didn't have your uniform so you couldn't start work on that day. You then still looked up the hospital you wanted to go to in the first place, like Havana, and you're like, okay, great, like, okay, like Nigerian military almost got you, but yeah, by some chance, you basically met up with your husband, and then yes, you came over to the UK. But the whole thing is, you came over to the UK, you looked around, because maybe it was a case if you have an outsider's perspective, because like you're very proud of being a first generation immigrant into the UK, and like, yeah, we welcome you and we're quite happy to have you. But like to look and go, right, there is a hole in the market and I can't find that particular thing which I can connect to. You come like you give it a name. Sorry, I may have got the name wrong. Black women. My black women. And you went, okay. And you know what I mean? People came back to you and you listened to the feedback people gave to you. And look, You could have just turned around and went, damn you, it's the name it is, now step off. But you went, okay, no, you might have a point. You changed it to Divas of Colour, International Women's Forum. Like, you know what I mean? You basically adapt a change, and like, yeah, you provided the service you longed for in the
Yeah.
market where you couldn't see it, which I think is like, yeah, great, like a great thing indeed. But the whole thing is like I've skipped past like the whole point where you had three kids, like yeah, like two in quick succession. Then yeah, you decide to have a break for one, and then had another, and do all this. But self-taught quite a lot of this. You know what I mean? Like with regards to learning how to design logos, learning how to do websites, learning how to basically get more creative writing onto the whole thing. What, man, I got to ask, what on earth gives you this much drive to do all of this? And like basically, yeah, look, we haven't even touched on C-Hub, like the magazine, but yeah, but all of this drive at, look, being a parent of three, that's enough for some people. That is, they're done, dusted. Like, you know, about starting up a forum and like, yeah, writing a children's book at the same time. What gives you your drive? Come on now. What is that?
Well, it's natural with me because most of the times I'm battling. There are a lot of ideas in my head, and
Uh,
sometimes I have to be like, oh, be quiet.
yeah.
I've told my mind to be quiet because if I keep going with things that are coming on my head, in my head, I won't stop. I will look like a mad person. So sometimes I won't stop myself.
The
No,
voices.
no, no voices. I do. So, and the thing is, I have a husband who also is very much into the whole thing. In fact, C.Hud Magazine, he was the one that got the name. We had to
Mm,
brainstorm. What I wanted, the magazine, I wanted to be initially, the name I was going to give to it was still going to be channeled to women. Now, why am I drawn to women mostly is because coming from where I come from, with the amount of vision and ambition I had,
yeah.
I find that the culture where I'm coming from, even till today, is still suppressing women. There are certain things you want to do as a woman. Everybody says, don't you know you're a woman? Go and get married. So the focus is on get married, get this, instead of on what you want to be. So that's really, I think that affected me so much growing up. I observed those things so much. And also my mom, I saw my mom practically beaten, assaulted by my, by domestic violence and all that.
Mm,
So, and I grew up, in fact, okay, well, at the age of 5, because
yeah.
when my mom left my dad when I was about 4 years, and my mom was fully pregnant. In fact, I captured it in one of my books that I wrote recently, Tuning. So I used Tuning to write a little bit about myself, and then release some of the poems and thoughts and quotes that I have that I use in motivating myself and keeping myself going. So that's the book is Tuning. So I told the story of how I grew up from 4 years when we left my dad and went to my maternal home. So at that point, my mom is a teacher. That time she was still going to school. She was still studying. So from time to time, she would leave us, myself and my siblings. We are 4 of us then. And
Mm,
she would go to school, to uni. She was doing, they call it sandwich. I don't know what they call it at part-time, but maybe during school holidays or something, she would go, you know. So, then sometimes when she's in school, I'll be the one that will take care of my siblings.
mm,
And in my culture, as the first daughter, you know, even if there are elder brothers, the girl child is more, takes the responsibility of taking care of the house and
yeah.
home and domestic things. So I was very early began to take responsibility for other people and for myself. So when I was 5 years old and I was living with my grandmother, grandfather, and my great grandmother in my maternal home, So, and I was babysitting my youngest sister then. So I was like, I want to go to school. What is wrong with these people? Nobody's talking about my school. So I think this is when this started. So, and we used to go to school with, like board. We call it slate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we used to go to school with slate and use chalk to write and all that. So one day, I'm shy now. So one day I went to where they were doing construction at the back of the house and carried a smooth plank I saw there, and that was my slate. The following morning, nobody knew. I just followed other children going to school. I went and registered myself. That was how I started my primary school.
Who are you? Don't worry about it. I'm here. It's like, what are you doing here? I've come to learn. Like, where's your slate? I've got a plank. It's good. Come on.
That was the first time I began to decide what I want to do. So whatever you're talking about, once I'm focused that this is what I want to do on your own. And also I need to also let you know that when I came to London here, even that time I was having my children, there was a time I was making peanuts in my house with my oven. Yep. Yeah. I was making peanuts. I would package it, label and everything, do chin, and I would supply to African shops. So initially, when I started it, I didn't even know what I was doing. So, but when I did the packaging and everything, I designed the what name did I call it that time? So I packaged it and took it to the nearest shop to me, and the man said, "Okay, let's try." So I gave them about 50 wraps of the peanuts, and I left. The following day, they called me. It's finished. I should bring more, and I wasn't prepared. I had children all over me.
No doubt, half of the peanuts you bought, like the kids were like, "Thank you." Just like, no, I got to sell those. But oh my Lord, yeah.
So I told my husband, I said, "Oh my God, it's like people like it." So my husband said, "Okay, he's going to support me." So he went and bought more raw peanuts and all that, and I began to make more. Then, my phone number was there. The next thing I heard was people were calling me. I live in Woolwich area, Plumstead, and now people were calling me in New Cross Road to come and support. It became so stressful. I said, "Oh my goodness, what's this?" So he was giving me money that time, but it was stressful. It was making our house dirty with the children and everything, and I needed to focus on the real business I want to do. That was just to support myself and keep myself busy. But then people began to call me everywhere. So sometimes you need to run to about 4 shops and do supplies. In New Cross Road, I had 4 shops there. I had about 3 or 4 shops, and in Charlton, just like people calling me, I said, I cannot meet up. Forget about it. I decided to. Then when the Divas of Colour and C.Hud began to pick up, I just stopped it. I said no. Then my children were beginning to go to school. I need to focus on their education as well. So I stopped the side distractions from the peanuts, even though it was giving me quick real cash. So I stopped that one.
Okay. And like with Divas of Colour, how many events have you run before the lockdown? How many events did you do?
Okay, we do. What we do is that we do the our flagship event is the festival, which we do every March. And our event was supposed to be on the 28th of March. So when the government were still dribbling and not sure what they want to do and all that, I already canceled my event. I said no. With my knowledge of nursing and infectious diseases and all that, I said this thing is not going to last for weeks and end. So around February, towards the end of February, we decided to cancel and shift the event. We shifted it to July, 11th July.
Okay.
But now looking at it again, it's not going to happen this July. So usually we have our festival, and the festival encompasses awards, trade show, conference, and fashion show. You know, we have people from everywhere, from US, from Zimbabwe, from South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria. You know, in fact, last one we had people from Sri Lanka and Pakistan. You know, so, and this year we even had more people coming from different. In fact, this year we collaborated with a lot of Nigeria celebrities, movie, you know, Nollywood celebrities. About 5 ladies we are going to come. They're already ambassadors for this year's mental health campaign, because each year we have a particular cause we want to promote with it. So the tagline was "Mind Your Mind," you know. So, and after the, what's it called? After the festival, we usually have our professional that's career and business conference in July. That's when we usually have that one as well. We also have speakers from every background, from every, even men and every. So, and I always tell people, see, Divas of Colour is just a brand.
Yeah.
Yes, our target is women, but it's not exclusively women. So if there's something we are discussing that that men think, you know, we are not sexist, you can come, you know. So
thank you very much.
So we do have men who also come for, especially the career and business conference we usually have in July. By now we're supposed to be preparing for that one, but because of the lockdown we won't. And then we do have from time to time we have webinars, we have free you know, meetings and all that. And now the one we're working on now heavily is to, you know, launch the membership. You know, we've been doing the survey and listening to what people want, and, you know, gathering data on the services and the content they want to, things they want to access from the resources they want from the membership. So that's where we are now, developing that one, because like some of our international network women, like yesterday on our, and I launched the podcast as well, In Her Words, for Divas of Colour. I launched it I think 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So yesterday I was speaking to one of the ladies. She was supposed to win an award this year. In fact, I think she won a few years ago, and she was supposed to also win award this March.
Yeah.
She's from India. She's an architect. So I spoke to her yesterday on the podcast, Divas of Colour podcast. Then what else? Yeah, so, and so many other things in the pipeline that, you know, now that we have time to sit down and think, I'm hoping that as soon as the lockdown eases out, we are going to have other things to be going in.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Like, wow. Like, with regards to the membership, like, I don't know how many people you've got in your community right now, but I take it it's one of those things where you're having to adapt and adjust right now with doing the webinars, basically doing the membership, and like launching your podcast only 2 weeks ago. You said it was the Divas of Colour podcast, right?
Yeah.
And like this is the thing, bringing on like guests like from India, basically, and I can only imagine this is like just the start of things.
Yeah, for the podcast. For the podcast is so easy because we have a catalog of women who are doing ACD. You remember that since the Divas of Colour was officially launched as it is now from 2014. So that from 2014, we've had hundreds of women who have, you know, won awards, who have attended events, who are in our newsletters, who receive newsletters. So that's why we wanted to create the membership formally, so that we can now have a controlled community who are, you know, always interacting. So we have these women who are professionals. Just name any profession, we have women, you know, in it. We have nurses, doctors, architects, you know, professors from different, and business women who have their own businesses, who have established, you know, big, you know, brands that are thriving and stuff like that from different parts of the world. So it's just our own, the Divas of Colour is there to just, you know, make sure that these women, people are hearing about them and their voices are being heard, and was it 2017 or 18, when we first launched the Mind Your Mind campaign,
Mm.
that's the mental health awareness. So we had Baroness, was it um ah, what's her name again? Is it Baroness or something? I remember her name. These two, they're in the House of Lords. House of Lords. Oh my God, how can I forget her name?
Baroness Dane, maybe?
Yeah. Then 1 second.
No worries. I have time. You have
I'm gonna get the name. Oh my God, please help me.
It's cool.
Um,
It's cool.
yeah. So when I remember them, the two black ladies in the House of Chambers, but not the one that the son died. This was something of St. David's. So but one of these ladies, she was able to arrange for us to have one of the campaign events in the House of Lords. So we came, we had, we invited speakers and other women came, and then both of them were able to award them. They received their awards, even though they were supposed to get their awards earlier, but they could not attend. So we were able to bring the awards for them there. 1 second, I'm trying to see if I'll find. And the conference, the career and business conference we usually run in July, is called Women into Leadership. So we try to equip women to lead, to be, to gain the confidence to lead, whether you're in your own business or you are in a professional career or something. You should also know that you're a leader and be able to position yourself as a leader wherever you find yourself.
Mm.
So that's, yeah.
Like with regards to yourself as I would say, as a lady, as a leader yourself, like I know you've like most probably ran into some sort of like difficulties over your time. But what do you often find you hear from other ladies who come and ask you what has been sort of their sort of typical problems they have had to find their own leadership? You found your leadership. What problems have they run into? Have you found?
Personally, for me, first, on my own, is sometimes I doubt myself a lot.
Mm.
I critique myself. When I'm doing something, I I have a way of, checking out. I'll be going back and forth, thinking, is it right? Is it? I don't want to offend anybody. That kind of thing. So, and also um, networking. When I know you're gonna think this is not true. Now,
No.
people don't know that I can be very introverted. So
Okay.
when I go on networking physically, if I don't have anything to contribute, you find me, I won't be able to. I don't know how to do small talk. Is
Okay.
it that? Yeah, is it that full on talk? I'm saying something tangible, or I'm not talking. So when people come to me and say, "Oh, your hair is nice," this, "Oh, your makeup," I tune out. I'm already like this.
So, uh,
Do not believe in me. So, so, so I find it difficult, going to networking events
mm,
where there's no focus, there's no thing I'm coming to do. Just to hang around, talk to people. There's nothing. So I find it very difficult. So what I normally do is, if I'm going to any event, I try to find people before the event. I try to know who is coming. Who am I trying to meet? So that once I'm there, even if it's one person, that one person, I will find my way to speak to that person and it becomes relevant to me. Or I'll find a way to get to know the people who are doing the event and see if there's any role they will give me, even if it means being on their reception or something, helping to check people in. So doing that, it makes me more relevant. And then from there, I can talk to people. If it's just to come in, sit down, and then networking time, start, hello, what do you do? No, because when people are asking me, what do? I don't know which one to tell them. Am I going to tell Divas of Colour? Am I going to tell C.Hud? What am I going to tell? Everything, when you start saying it becomes too much. They say, are you okay? So that has been a kind of hindrance for me in that regards. Then from other people, especially when I coach people, I also find out that so many people don't believe in themselves, don't have the confidence. They might appear, people, especially people you see dress up very well. They dress up with, they put a lot of makeup and, gold. And when you see them, they're already intimidating, if you don't know yourself. But then when you get to the underneath, you find out that they are struggling with confidence. They are struggling with, believing in their own ideas. And also they find it difficult to translate an idea to something tangible. So they find themselves as not relevant. So when I'm coaching people, I try to let them begin to see the value they have within and stop comparing yourself with anybody. Define your own success. So for me, I always define what success means to me at every point in my life. So regardless of what any other person is doing, whatever is happening, that's not my focus. My focus is, this is what I want, and this is how I'm defining my own success, and that is where I'm going to. So I don't get really caught up with distractions a lot. Then another thing is, people focus so much on money. The minute they don't have the money they believe they want to have, or things they want, material things they want, they get easily, carried away and distracted. Somebody like me, I can go with my hair, I can scrape my hair, I can go without makeup, I can go without nails, and I still feel great within myself. All I need to do is be very clean and, be how I want to dress. But I like to dress more casual than, suiting up and all that. So when I dress casually, I feel more confident. But when I start dressing, putting jackets and all those, I start being conscious of myself. So many people get trapped in trying to please people than focusing on who they are and what they want to achieve in their own life. So that's one of the things I observed and I found out. And then also many women just simply don't have the support from home. They don't have a partner or family members who support them as women. I remember one time I went for, there's a kind of meeting we went to, and I wanted to speak. And this person quickly asked me to sit down, that you're a small girl. Me, small girl, in this London. I'm like, me, small girl. I said, no, I have to speak, So many people, especially if it's people from our culture, from home, they know you from home. It's difficult for you to bring up yourself and be that leader. They still see you from the point of cultural position and all those kind of things. So many women are struggling with that and trying to overcome all those challenges.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think it's a case of the way I see many a person out there. There's cultural challenges, and then there's basically people. Sometimes when it comes to belief in themselves, they actually get to the point of doing what they need to do, taking the action they need to do, but then they feel like they're a pretender in what they're doing, and many a times that's a thing what comes up to sort of stop them in their tracks, which I think makes it that much harder. But yeah, from like the sort of like home support, I think with regards to the lockdown, I think that's changing a lot of people's sort of like thoughts and attitudes, because it's one of those things. I have a friend named Amy McEwen, and like she does a lot of sort of mental health and all aspects of that. But her husband works in the city. I don't know what his role, like what he does, but he works away from home.
Yeah.
And much of the time, he doesn't actually sort of see the whole sort of parental responsibilities and understands that sort of heavy lifting, what is required. I think now with the lockdown, especially I think worldwide, where now more partners are together and having to share that responsibility much more, and understanding how hard that can be with a young child, like going, hi, I need this. Hi, what are you doing? Hi, I want to play. Hi, I need some attention. Hi, and like trying to get that sort of workload done. I think many a person, like many a gent, lady, or however the sort of makeup is, I think they're getting a fresh perspective of that. So yeah, I think home support, I think, will be changing over in the next few years. I might be wrong about this, but I think this lockdown is changing a lot of attitudes when it comes to that and how people should be working and supporting themselves, like support from each
Yes,
other.
yeah, it is in two parts. Yes, what you said is very correct, but the other side of the ugly side of the lockdown also is that um, some women are beginning to find out that they're actually stuck in their home.
Mm,
You know, like when I mean stuck in their home or relationship, is that probably they when their husbands or partners go to work was an opportunity for them to have some freedom, but now they are not stuck in the same space with this person. You
mm,
know, if you can, I don't know if you have been paying attention about this. There's been a spike in domestic violence.
yeah.
You know, in fact, I think about 6 women already have been killed since this lockdown from domestic violence, and also a few men, of course. You know, it's not the domestic violence is not only channeled to women, but mostly women are the ones who suffer it the most.
Mm,
So the lockdown also, you know, has made it almost impossible for women who are going through some challenges, not being able to escape or look for help. You know, so that's that part. That's the ugly part of it. And then the beautiful the beauty of it all is that what you just said is like some husbands who probably didn't think their stay-at-home wife was actually doing anything are beginning to see how much skill that is needed to be a mom or to run the home, to budget, to organize, to schedule, to to make sure that things are running smoothly. It's not something that is easy. For example, now in my own home, in this last 2 months, I've not bathed the last my baby. My husband does it.
ah,
So he does it, and that has been a huge relief off my shoulders. Now, um, the children now, since they're not going to school, I don't have to wake up early to make sure that they get ready to go to school. You know, make sure they pack lunch and breakfast, everything.
mm,
Now, most of the times I wake up the last. And sometimes they'll come and peep and check if I'm awake, and they wave at me and they leave. Then whenever I'm ready, I come down. So it's a whole new, if you have a loving home, a loving relationship, the lockdown has even strengthened those relationships and made it more, giving you more time to stay together as a family. Like in our own home here, most of the times now we have the chance for everybody to be on the dinner table at the same time.
oh, that's
And
wonderful.
over dinner, we talk about different things. In fact, my two of my daughters are writing their book. They finished writing their book, but I'm the one holding them now. My first daughter, she wrote her novel, her fiction, and she did the illustration. And that is where I'm struggling with, getting the illustrations into digital. So that's what I've been doing. Then my second daughter also, she finished the second series in her book, both of them. So I'm editing them also. So we have a lot we are talking about, on what they are doing and catching up and everything. And then my husband is getting more bonding with them more, going through
Yeah.
their work and everything. And also, every evening we do presentation. You know, the whole family we all do presentations. So you decide what you want to present, whether you want to read a chapter from your book or a page or a paragraph, or you want to tell us what you did throughout the day. So what it does is it makes the girls, so during the day they are thinking, what am I going to present? So giving them responsibility to be able to think, beyond just playing and being bored. So they're always channeled into thinking, what am I going to present? Oh, last night I didn't present. My presentation was not that good. What am I going to, to try to outshine the other person? So, and when you do your presentation, after the presentation, you're going to ask questions. You have to bring out questions from your presentation and ask us, and we'll be answering the questions. So if you're not able to bring out questions, that means you didn't understand what you are talking about. Then, and if you ask us questions and we couldn't answer it, that means we didn't listen. So it forces everybody to pay attention and focus on the presentation.
Like, I know if I come around your household, like, yeah, come around for dinner. Oh, great, no worries. You have your presentation ready? What? I heard that's like, no, like, yeah, look, but they say when you just said about presentation, I was like, okay, fine, presentation. Yeah, like, but you can't mess. It's not. You can like, hey, well, this is what I did today. Thank you. No, it's like you got to go deep.
You have to go deep. Yes, like you have to start from when I woke up. If you want to say what you did during the day, you're gonna say, and first of all, you have to introduce yourself. We are teaching them to introduce themselves. Like now, my daughter, when she comes and she says her name, she says her age, where she goes to school, and then she could say she's a writer or she has written her. She's a first time author or whatever. Depending, and also she's an illustrator. She has to say those things so that it's stuck in her, and she knows that, see, I have something to do. Then, for me, before I used to be like, I don't like too much titles. I don't like to go with titles. So, but now I'm getting used to saying I'm the CEO. That kind of thing. So,
yeah, no, but like, this is the thing, you're instilling this in like your children at a very young age. Like, put it this way, look, when like I'm listening to you when you're like going, yeah, both my children, yeah, they're working on their book. Like, I'm sitting here like, wow, I've got a podcast and I go out. I feel really lazy at this present time. Just like, yeah, like I don't want to meet your children. Just like, so, I finished my first book. What have you done? Well, I've got a podcast, and you're just like, that's very nice. But like,
see what I tell people. I tell people don't feel that way. Yeah, don't feel that way, because you have to go with your own pace. Like now, some of the things I do is my recreation.
Yeah.
Like you might find it hard getting me to go for, let's say, okay, for example, there was one time a lady invited me to come for a pajamas party.
Oh yeah.
I said,
pajama party. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what are we gonna be? I just wear my PJ and come over, and what next? That kind of things. I don't see myself doing it. So instead of doing that thing, I focus on, like, since morning I've been on the computer. In fact, since yesterday, I was on this Divas of Colour website. There was a particular software or whatever I wanted to install, and it wasn't working. And each time I think it's done, because there were two people who wanted to, who already wanted to purchase the membership, and I keep seeing it pending. And then I go back to PayPal, there's no commission. So I'm trying to find out the technical thing that was happening. so I was stuck with it throughout yesterday. Then around 10 p.m., my head was spinning. My husband practically came and dragged me out and said, that's enough, they need to come out. So I had to go. I called my girls to put some, bring out the duvet. I laid down here for a while and relaxed myself. And then, even at that, I didn't want to stop because I haven't achieved what I wanted to achieve. So, but I had to listen to my body and go. But I was having fun doing it. So I
Yes.
wouldn't blame another person or make another person feel guilty for not doing that
No,
because
no, no, no. Like, don't worry.
exactly.
I'm playing a little game here. I'm like, you know what I mean? Just, yeah, getting, like, having a little bit of fun, but yes, but like, this is the thing. Yeah, no, trust me. I know the pain of IT. Like my lady, she like does, like works with IT and everything like this, implement change, all of this. So software problems. Yeah, trust me. Like anytime you try to install anything with IT, it like they go, oh yeah, you just do this and you just do this and it should work. No, that's a lie.
It's a
You
lie.
it's like
I was actually working on the website last week.
mm,
All of a sudden, I locked myself out. I couldn't get into the back end of my website. I was going mad. I said, oh my goodness, what did I just do now? So I had to contact my what's it called? My
service
uh,
provider.
yeah, my service provider. Then they had to now help me, and they were able to pick up the something I installed that changed the whole system. They were able to pick it, and they told me what it was and asked me what do I need it for. I said I don't really need it. They deleted it from there. Then I was able to go in again. So it's crazy. Anytime I go on the website to do any work, forget that day.
Yes, like yeah, just like hey, like husband comes in, how you doing? How yeah, you okay? You just look at him like I'm still working on it. Leave me alone. Okay, bye bye. Just like kids, don't go in there. No, no, no. Mommy's busy right now. Leave her be.
But
No.
it's fun, it's very fun. Is the one of the good things about life is once you find what you like, what
Mhm.
gives you happiness, what gives you the fulfillment, you find that your life is almost complete. You know, like in my house, books, writings, and that's the kind of thing that you'll be hearing about. And in fact, like now, when my children are watching TV or playing games, they're already carving out characters from what they are watching. You see them, oh Daniel, do you see what he did? That would fit this character. They got the name of the character in the book.
Mm.
They said, they try to think about it and say how you gonna okay. That's the kind of conversation you always say. Sometimes I say, hey, so what is it again? I say, mommy, no, don't worry. you know, they'll put me in my zone, parents zone me, you know. So it's very important for people, to find first of all what gives them fulfillment.
Mm.
And then from that, you can start learning how to offer it as a service and earn money from it. Because when you are doing something and you don't like it, even the money you're getting, you will find yourself, you won't have happiness. You find that is why people keep on acquiring things that they don't necessarily need. And at
Yeah.
the end of the day, they find there are some people who have jobs that earn a lot of money. At the end of the day, they are still broke
Mm.
because they keep on piling and piling things, trying to fill that gap, trying to get that satisfaction. But at the end of the day, once you use that thing once or twice, you dump it. You don't want that one. You're bored of it. You buy another one and
Yeah.
still don't find the happiness. But if you're doing something that gives you joy, gives you happiness, and if you are lucky, your entire family are into similar things or understand how to leave people to live their own lives, then you are in heaven.
I'm liking that. I'm really liking that. Like, so with regards to yourself and with your enterprises, like what do you see yourself for the, like, you've talked about the membership and everything like this, but what is one of the things you want to do, say, in the next, say, 3 years or 5 years?
Okay. In the First of all, before now, our 5-year projection, which would have been in the next 3 years now,
Mm.
was that with the C.Hud Magazine, there's a level of network we were expecting, and also trying to get into Nigeria market as well. But I had my baby in 2018, and then last year my husband had brain surgery.
Oh.
So yeah, these two events really, was a big challenge for the family in general and affected us. In fact, that we're able to do the event, and mind you, C.Hud Magazine has creativity awards creativity and arts awards we do every November. So we just managed to do those events. We couldn't market them. We just managed to do it. And we spent a lot of money hosting all the events we hosted 2018 and 2019. So that ate deep into our finances. So it's like this year we wanted to start again, and then boom, the, the lockdown.
Yeah. Corona. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So, but the good thing is that we still have the zeal, the spirit is still there. Our network, we have a network of people who get our back as well, who trust in what we can do. And aside from the organization, the company, businesses and services, I have things that I do in my own kind of leisure. Like I do YouTube, I do I do interview people, and then when I have some ideas, I go on Facebook Live and all that. So in that way, those things I do also drag people in. So our focus now is to, one, the Divas of Color, to establish the membership and be able to have, we have our target number we want to achieve at least in the first 1 year. And then the C.Hud Magazine, we want to also increase. 2018, we redesigned it, so probably the next thing we're going to be doing now is to make it into app or something so people can download it so that we'll be able to measure who has it. Then, and to make sure that we keep going, So, and also be able to employ the kind of writers we want for C.Hud. At the moment we work mostly with freelancers, and we have just a few permanent writers and stuff like that. So we want to have a kind of family of, okay, this is our staff strength, this is people working for us, that kind of, so that we can always bounce ideas with our staff and be able to be in control of what we're doing. So that's where we're heading to now.
Okay, yeah, liking it. Look, yes. Yeah.
Okay, and also this year we've been able to achieve partnership with our book publishing, so that any book that we publish, before, when we publish book, you can only find it within UK.
Yeah.
But now we are not going global, so that people can buy whatever book we publish any part of the world. So we've been able to achieve a partnership that enables us to do that. And also Google have also accepted us as a publishing partner, so that our books are also in Google Play and Google Books. So these are some of the things we have achieved this year.
No, I'm loving that. I'm loving that a lot. Like, yes, I'm definitely going to have to give I was speaking to Jane on the podcast, who also from Nigeria. Oh wait, let me just see. Jane. Basically, what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you her details to you, so you can have her on as a guest on the podcast. I think you'll be able to get a lot of value from provide a lot of value for each other. Very inspirational lady like yourself. I've got to say, definitely a go-getter pushing forward. I'm loving the way you are pushing you push the boundaries for yourself. Basically, fighting against the odds. Well, I would say finding ways to get things done when the solution is not clear. So I've got to say you have been a joy and an inspiration with regards to that. And look,
Thank you.
no worries. Anything I can do to basically provide help and support, I'm very happy to do it. And like, I'm very happy you are on the podcast today. I've got to simply say, yeah, where like I'm going to use this myself as motivation to when the days where I feel, oh, I can't do this, or I feel like slacking off there. Look, yeah, I like if I needed to travel to a place and yes, I can travel here. I can do this. I can push myself that little bit harder. Yeah. May I ask if you can tell people where they can find you in the world, like, yeah, on social media, everything like that? That would be great. I'll put stuff down in the description. If you could do that, that would be fantastic. Where can they find you?
If you in fact, every social media, not every social media, many social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you put at Fonte, FAUNTEE, TEE, then you will find me at Fonte. And the C-Hub has its own pages on same platforms, LinkedIn. If you search for C-Hub, C.Hub Magazine, and C-Hub stands for Creativity Hub. Yeah, that's what C-Hub is. Then if you also search for Divas of Colour using British spelling of color, Divas of Colour, you will find us.
That's the only way you're meant to spell color. There is no other way you spell color.
Americans spell without the U. Crazy people.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, and also I have my own website, my own personal website, Fonte Bon. Just Fonte, then put BON.com. That's my personal website. There isn't much happening there. From time to time, I host some. I do some mentoring or coaching sections where I teach people how you can start any business with no cash at hand. So I teach some of the skills and some of the things that, for startups and first generation entrepreneurs, showing them the challenges they might face and how to, surmount them.
Excellent. What I like to say is I thank you very much for coming on today, Faustina. It's been a pleasure. The honor has been all mine. Yeah, I will definitely love to have you back onto the podcast. Definitely in the future. And yeah, if I can do anything to help you with your podcast as well, I'll be happy to do that as well.
I think I'll get you on the C.Hud Magazine, because I do a show for C.Hud Magazine that goes on YouTube. It's a tough talk.
Yeah.
So I will, when I'm following you on LinkedIn, so I'll watch some of the things, your opinions. From your opinion, I'll come up with a tough topic that I want you, that will have, some kind of topics where it's hard to talk about. For example, I've chatted with a professor who's a medical doctor. He's a gynecologist. I spoke with him about transgender. So just to give you an idea of the kind of topics I do on Tough Talk. So one, professionally, and he's also a Christian. So I was trying to get him to, tell us what that means, how transgender is going to play out, why it's necessary, and all those kind of things. So which was a bit difficult for him, but then he was able to give his answers also as well, and preserve his profession.
Hey, no, you know what? I'll be happy to do it. Yep. And any bit I can do to do that, yeah, be happy to do that. And yes, be kind with whatever topic you might raise with me. So yeah, I'll be happy to do that. Let me know. And yeah, right now, because I'm on, how can I say, furlough, I've got a lot of time free.
that's the beauty of the lockdown, isn't it?
Oh
We
yeah.
have a lot of time now
Well,
to
like
do
this
what
is
we want to do.
yeah, absolutely. Push forward to those dreams, ambitions you might have, like which might be resting in you, and yeah, make the most of this time to make it happen.
Exactly.
Perfect. Faustina, thank you very much for coming on today. I wish you a very good day. I'd like to say to anyone who's listening, thank you for listening. I wish you a very good day. I wish you a well. I say be awesome, be excellent, be fantastic. Be all the positive bees you can be in this world and then some. Anyway, have a great day, my friends, my life warriors. I say goodbye to you one and all. And yeah, peace.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
no worries. No worries at all. Excellent.